Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. So here is the thing. A recent study shows 93% of CTOs and CISOs are concerned about running AI generated applications in production. But why is it so? Let's try to understand. Today tools like Claude, Codex, Copilot can definitely generate applications for you, but they are not good at generating enterprise grade applications. Organizations not only worry about code, but they also worry about security, access controls, IAM, and many things like this. Just for your example, how do you ensure AI generated application deals with the enterprise data securely? How do you ensure AI generated application talks to the database securely? Where are these database credentials stored? How do you make sure developers who are using these AI tools do not leak any sensitive information of the organization? These are some major challenges today. In today's video, I'll introduce you to a platform that is known for building enterprise grade applications. I'm talking about Retool. In the past, we looked at Retool on this channel. I showed you how to build enterprise AI agents using Retool. In today's video, we will look at their new AI native builder and see how to generate enterprise applications in absolutely no time. And yeah, in today's video, I'll not only walk you through the platform, but I also have a cool demo. I'll first show you how to build AWS Cost Dashboard using some sample data. Then I'll show you how easy it is to connect to a Postgres instance securely using Retool's new builder. This is going to be very informative and of course very insightful. Before we get started, I would like to thank Retool for collaborating on this video. Let's get started. So this is a platform. You can also get started with Retool. In fact, you can get started with some free credits as well. The link is in the description and also in the pinned comment. And this is the new app builder. Just provide a simple natural language prompt and this will create entire application for you. In fact, if you're getting started, they also have some templates. Let's say you're building order management tool, maybe vendor onboarding tracker or sales KPI dashboard. Just click on the template. It comes with a prompt and that will create application in few minutes for you. I'll come back to the applications. In fact, we will build the AWS Cost Dashboard as we discussed. But before that, let me walk you through some features of Retool that makes it an enterprise platform. One thing that I really like, they have support for resources. Let's say within your organization, you have some internal or external resources. You can connect that with the Retool platform. Just click on create new. If you're using AWS resources like RDS or S3, just set up a connection and you can fetch those resources onto the Retool platform. Then once you build an application using the new app builder, application can securely connect to RDS as well as S3. You don't have to worry about the secrets. Not only AWS, you have external resources, let's say like databases. It can be MongoDB, MotherDuck, Redis, Elasticsearch. You can also integrate them. Or you have some external APIs like S3 or GitHub, GraphQL, HubSpot, even chat applications like Microsoft Teams. You can also integrate them. And further, you can integrate AI utilities and also messaging queues. So resources option is very beneficial. You don't have to worry about storing the keys. You don't have to worry about making sure your application does not leak any secrets. And yeah, if you're wondering how difficult it is to connect a resource, it's very straightforward. Let's say I want to connect Postgres. I just have to click on the Postgres resource. I have to provide the host connection string. If SSL or secure access is available, I just have to enable that as well. And that's it. If you want to keep your connection very secure, maybe let's say you want your Postgres to only be allowed access to this Retool platform, they also have the allow list IPs. So within your security group on AWS or within your access IPs on the platform, you can just provide these IP addresses and that's it. Test connection, create resource. In fact, I did the same thing. For this demo, I have a Postgres DB hosted somewhere. I created a resource called AWS Cost Information. That's just the name of the resource. I provided my Postgres DB address. I provided the port connection string, enabled the SSL connection, and created the resource. Now, when we create the application, we will use this resource so that our application makes use of the resource as well as the data within the resource. So basically, my application can securely connect to the data that is within Postgres. Apart from resources, once you set up account for your organization, the Retool account, you can head to settings and you can integrate authentication and authorization options. Retool can be integrated with your organizational SSO. Let's say you want to get started without SSO, you can still create users manually. You can create groups and you can set up authorization using the roles. But as you get comfortable with Retool and once you decide to use it within your organization, I would recommend to go with SSO integration. As an administrator, you can also take a look at the audit logs to see who made the changes, who accessed the platform, who made changes to the application configuration, or if you're using AI agents on the Retool platform, you can also take a look at that using the audit logs. In fact, there is also observability information. You can pass the information from the Retool platform to your observability tool. If you're using Datadog or let's say you're using Sentry, you can enable and you can send the information. And if you want to know more about the platform, like if you want to understand the workflows or how to create AI agents, we already have a detailed video on Retool AI agents. I'll share the link in the description so you can go through that. Now let's head to the apps tab and start building our AWS Cost Dashboard. I'll provide a simple natural language prompt. I want to build an AWS Cost Dashboard that can help engineering and FinOps team visualize the cloud spending, which provide information on AWS services, daily spend, monthly spend, regions, and account historical cost records. Now, this will create application with some sample data for us. Now, once the application is created, then we will make use of resources. I'll show you how this application can securely connect to the Postgres resource, where I have actual organizational information. So first, create with some sample data. Now, this would be the same thing when you create with Claude, Codex, or Copilot as well. If you have application generated, you can also fetch that information and import that in Retool. Once you have the code, the main part of Retool or the USP of Retool, it can help you connect with your organizational data. Just like how I imported the Postgres resource, you can import your organizational resource and connect that with your application. And further, you can preview it and you can publish it as well, which I'm going to show you in next 2 minutes of time. Cool. So I'll click on go. Now this will open a different view for us. Let me rename this. I'll call this as cost dashboard. So it is generating the code. Looks like it is wrapping up the UI component section and it is using a TypeScript to generate the user interface. Looks cool. I personally like reading the code. So if you also enjoy while it is generating the code, you can see how exactly it is generating the code, how it is thinking, and most importantly, the flow of the code. And there you go. Just in few minutes, I think it did not even take 5 minutes to build this. So we have our AWS cost dashboard. Let's see what did it create. So this is a summary of 10 changes that it made. It says there is an option to select the theme. Okay, I'll change it to the dark theme so that it's very clear. So it provided all the information, the month to date spend, forecast spend, average daily spend. It also provided good pictorial view and through some dashboards, the region wise information, historical cost records. But all of this information is with the dummy data, right? And it also clearly indicates it created this entire thing using sample data. But in real time, you will not go with sample data. You will go with your enterprise data. So I'll just head to the prompt section and I will provide it with a prompt. Connect this with the resource. As I've shown you before, I've created a resource here So AWS cost information. This is my Postgres DB in which I have my the data information like the organizational AWS cost data. So I'm just going to say connect this with the resource AWS cost information, right? It will understand that I'm talking about the Postgres instance and see how would it integrate the data. Point to note, I'm not providing it with any credentials. So this is a prompt. Connect this with the resource AWS cost information and modify the dashboard accordingly. In fact, if you say just connect with the resource, it will give you the different resource options that you have and you can pick from the resource. But because I know the resource name and I know the resource that I have to connect to, I just provided the resource information directly. You can also clearly see here in the chat section, it is listing the tables from AWS cost information. It says, okay, this is what I found. And then it is also looking at the cost usage schema, comparing it with the sample schema. That's good. It is comparing with the sample schema so that if any changes are required in the dashboard, it would make those changes. And then it is trying to understand if the regions in the sample data and regions in the actual data are similar. So overall, it connected to the Postgres DB and it is working on the actual data. But Abhishek, how can I make my Postgres resource secure? Now I have the resource on the Retool platform. I only want certain people to access the resource. You can do that. So on the resource, just click on these three dots. You have view access list. In fact, this is same for every resource on the platform. When you click on view access list, you can see people who has access to it. If you want, you can modify the access and you can modify the permission group as well. Let's go back. Okay, so it's almost done. You can see it is getting the final things done. And also one thing to mention, let's say if your organization has historical billing data within Excel sheets or Google Docs, you can still connect that with Retool. In the resources, you can connect instead of Postgres, you can connect your CSV files or Google Docs as well. Even that integration is available. Going back, I think this is done. Let's see. Cool. So now we have the AWS cost dashboard with the actual data. Let's change it back to the dark theme. Right? We will change it back to the dark theme and everything looks good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to publish it and see so that we will access it from a different browser and try to see all the features of the AWS cost dashboard that we built. So just click on publish. It is verifying the publish checklist. You can also keep track of your versions. It's not that you only can publish once. You can publish different versions and keep a track of different versions using Retool itself. Okay, we will call it as cost dashboard published, and in the releases, we will keep it as 1.0.0. Further, when we have new version, we can change it. Click on publish. So it is publishing the app with the unique URL for us. Okay, congratulations on publishing. Copy link. You can either copy link or if you just go back. So if you head to the applications, so these are the different applications that I was working on. Let's look at the cost dashboard application. So this is a cost dashboard application. I'll just click on view and this should open up in a new tab for us. Nice. AWS cost dashboard, cloud spend visibility for engineering and FinOps as of 2026, 6th 23. Nice. So the application looks very cool with everything that we need. Let's do one final check. Of course, while building the application, we saw that application is connected to Postgres. But let's see if it actually fetches the information securely from Postgres. We just want to ensure this is not sample data, but real data that is stored in Postgres. So the month to date spend is 500,000 US dollars. Now let me take my terminal. So on the terminal, I ran the PSQL query to fetch the month to date spend, and it looks exactly the same. Good. So now I can share this application across my organization, or I can just make it public. Isn't that cool? We went from a simple prompt to a working AWS cost dashboard connected to real business data in just few minutes. But the bigger value isn't the dashboard itself. It's having a platform that helps you move quickly while still operating within the security and governance requirement of your organization. This is the best part. So I would highly encourage you to explore the Retool platform and build your own AI powered internal applications. Try it today and get free app imports through 1st of July plus bonus AI credits on every paid plan. You can find the link in the description and also in the pinned comment. I hope you found this video informative. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. See you all in the next video. Take care.